sleep. But what a puma does at night is a different story. And it was only until recently that puma encounters where pumas were thought that if they interacted with another of their species, it would end in violence. But fairly recently, puma scientists have discovered that puma interactions don't always end in violence. Quite often, if a puma has a kill, and another one comes along, quite often they will share their kill and quite possibly even share their hunting grounds with others, except for territorial males with other males. And of course, one of the reasons why pumas are doing so well in the Andes is down to what they feed on, and their main prey of choice in the Andes is this, guanajo. Guanajo are a relative of the camel, but they're also the continent's most challenging prey. In fact, they stand just about 2 meters tall, are 3 times the weight of an adult puma, and they are constantly alert. Almost impossible to catch during the day, because whenever they see a puma or sense one, they give a loud whinnying call, which sets the whole herd on alert. But also, they can throw off a puma and they can deliver a kick that could be fatal to a puma. But at night time, the tables are turned. With very poor night vision, the guanajo are vulnerable to a puma attack. In fact, night time is when the pumas do much of their hunting. In fact, that's usually the time that they get up and go up. They get up and go out looking for dinner, because they're at a greater advantage than the guanajo, because at night they have eyesight that's 6 times more powerful than ours, and that gives them the advantage because they can creep up on the guanajo without them even knowing they're there, and then the goal for the puma is to jump on the guanajo's back and tackle it to the ground. And then they will go for the throat and suffocate their prey. An interesting thing about pumas is that their eyes shine, because at night, if you see them in spotlight, their eyes glow almost bright green, which is actually a very, very cool thing, because all nocturnal animals have eye shine. Like with crocodilians, it's bright red, snakes, it's bright yellow, but in predators like cats like pumas, it can be a bright green eye shine. And pumas are solitary for much of their lives, but a female puma will usually have like 3 to 5 cubs, and she'll look after them for about 3 years, and it's her job to provide them with food and as well as teach them how to hunt until they're ready to fend for themselves and go off to find their own territories. And of course, quite often when a puma's made a kill, if it's on its own, the puma can't possibly eat an animal of a guanajo of such big size in one go. So what they do is, after they've eaten their fill, they will hide the carcass by covering it up under a lot of brush, which is a practice called caching. And then the puma will come back between 2 or 3 evenings and eat the rest of the guanajo carcass. And by hiding it, it prevents scavengers like condors, vultures, foxes, and other pumas from taking it. And historically in the Andes, pumas were persecuted and hunted to near extinction, but they have been making a dramatic recovery. In fact, that's partly down to the fact that sheep herders have learned to live alongside pumas in the Andes, because a few of them realised decades ago that shooting pumas was both cruel and also were completely useless, because another puma would just take its place. So what they do is they raise special sheepdogs among their flocks as puppies, and then once the dogs are fully grown, they're sent out with the sheep they're meant to protect, and they will stay with the sheep, and they'll drive off pumas by barking at them, and the pumas will know to keep their distance, and they won't go for livestock. Although pumas have been known to attack and kill people, because the only time pumas are at their most dangerous is when they have either cubs, or if they're frightened, or more often if they're incredibly hungry and haven't eaten for several days. And if it wanted to, a puma is more than capable of killing a fully grown man. So when you see a puma, because you're very lucky if you see one, you never hear them, it's very important that you stay calm, you don't panic, and don't run or act like a prey animal, because it will attack you. And despite the puma being about the same size and weight as a fully grown man, we would still be no match for them in a fight, and they're more than capable of killing a fully grown man. Because these are the real kings of the dark. But even so, attacks on people are very rare, but you've always got to have that in the back of your mind. And of course, the best place to see pumas in the wild is the Torres del Paine National Park in Patagonia. In fact, along here is the Andes mountain range, and somewhere around here is Torres del Paine National Park, which has a higher concentration of pumas there than anywhere else in the world. That has been the final remastering of another PowerPoint presentation. Now, as I've said, this was the final one I had to do. Now, I hope you've all enjoyed, and if you have, please drop a comment down below. But also, check out my other videos my other PowerPoint videos that I've remastered. And also, check out the originals to see if you'd like to compare them. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please drop a comment down below. Okay, bye.